you have a very extensive career in starting in IT, then moving to finance as well. You've been related in sales.
Yes.
Could you share a bit how it's been that career? How you started in IT? How did you move finally to finance?
Well, it's a little bit complex because my background it's telecommunication engineer from 2018. 2018. And in the beginning, I was 8 years in Indra working in Madrid. I was moving from here, from Cartagena to Madrid. And at that time, I was working for Latin projects. So I was working during 8 years, more or less, in IT projects where I was able to be involved in different IT sales project, IT projects, and economic projects. So I was able to identify which were my best options to work on in. So finally, I identified that the economics were good for me to identify, to planning, and to see that I was good at going into planning, planification, and finance things, and not only sales and ID, whether or not to be able to plan the cost in time for our customer. So during that time, I was in charge in different projects in 23 countries,
Mhm.
and also I was trying to do an MBA in La Salle. It was a good high school, business school in Madrid, and also I started my own company, my startup there in Madrid during 3 years, where I was in charge in finance in order to be able to start with my new profile. So it was a little bit complex because I was trying to move from one side to another side,
Mhm.
but because something in my side, I was thinking that I had to move on, move
Yeah.
forward to finance. So finally, 8 years later, I came back to here to Murcia because I had a new offer from a technical company for 5G, for 5G, and later for 5G. And I was in charge in sales and also in finance. So I was trying to move not faster, but also slowly, and trying to be able to consolidate my new profile. The company was at that time only 5 people, 5 staff people, and during the following 5 years, we were able to expand our brand around many countries outside of Spain, traveling to USA, traveling to Japan, to South Korea, and I was able to sell and also to improve my skills in finance, to be able to develop new IRP inside the company, to transform the digitalization inside the company, and to be able to move forward in towards new skills in planning, finance planning, with advisory, with new offering for example, we have different offers to buy the company, and we were involved in different due diligence. So it was a little bit complex because for me it has to be something new. I had to compete to different CFO around the world that their background was in business and economics, and it was not my side. But finally, with I try to see that like a hobby, and try to improve as far as I can, and to understand accounting like I was doing my engineer BU. And
Yeah.
finally, 2 years ago, I was in charge of a big company like was dosfarma.com. It was a new step into my finance profile with a company that it was doing revenues for 40 million per year. So this is also more or less my roadmap during the last 12 years, and now I am in charge of a new company that we were doing CFO, fractional CFO for different companies. Our scope is to be able to be responsible for CFO as a CFO for 3, 4 companies maximum, where you can organize your time and organize and to be competitive in terms of cost for your customer that finally are
Awesome,
your
awesome.
boss. Yeah. So this is more or less. I have given you 2, 3 minutes a global view of my
Uh,
background.
very interesting. Thank you for sharing, Javier.